Okay, and I'm back, and no, they haven't boiled yet. They're just boiling. But I figured I'd show you what the next process is going to be. And that's, you're going to want some Italian parsley. And I had to send my husband to the store today. That's how bad the air quality is. And you're just going to want to chop your Italian parsley. And this is what's going to go into the ricotta cheese. And this will make a pretty presentation, but it'll also help flavor the ricotta. And you just want to chop it fine. You want to chop your parsley fine. And you want to use the flat Italian parsley versus the curly parsley that you would find in garnishes. I just find that the Italian parsley has a better taste than the curly parsley. And you might, if you watch my gardening videos, you might be like, well, Joel, you have both kinds of parsley. Well, yes, I do. The curly parsley that I use is used more for soups than it is for garnish for this type of stuff. And you might be wondering why I'm not using my own parsley. Well, my own parsley is not growing that well yet to be harvested. Okay, and this is pretty finely chopped. That's basically all you need to do. You don't need to do anything that big to it. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, when are you going to do the filling? Well, I'm going to do the filling while the shells are cooking, because the filling will not take all that long of a time, but let's get stuff that we need to make the filling ready. And you're going to want a really large bowl. I'm going to go get my big, large glass bowl. So this is my largest glass bowl. You're going to want that. You're going to definitely want a wooden spoon, which I'm going to get in a second here. For this, you're going to need at least 4 large eggs. Sometimes you're going to need 5. We'll start with 4 and see how it progresses. And since I'm doing 2 simultaneous cooks, it's going to be a little bit tricky because one is going to be more meat and the other one is going to be more sauce based than meat. But we're going to divide the Italian sausage in half. I also need to start getting the mozzarella cheese ready, and I'm going to go do that really fast. I'm going to turn you guys around. I don't need to do anything to my ricotta. My ricotta's sitting there. Like I said, I have the Parmesan Romano right here. And I gotta look and see where my husband put my mozzarella. Now that's my Parmesan, which you can use. Oh, here's my mozzarella. Yeah, my mozzarella is just, all we need to do is just shred it. Or grate it, I should say. I shouldn't say shred it. We need to grate it. Now I need to find my grater. On the same token, while I'm finding my grater, I'm gonna get my sieve ready for when the pasta is done cooking. You're gonna pour out the water, and like you see, you're gonna put it in cold water. So I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm gonna go get my grater, and I'm gonna grate the Parmesan or the mozzarella cheese. Okay, and I'm back, and I've got my mozzarella all shredded. I actually should have bought more mozzarella than I did, but what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to play with this half and half. One of my waters is boiling right now, so I'm going to go ahead and start the shells. Now, this is the one that I'm not baking tonight, but instead going to freeze. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the package, and we're going to look at how many shells we have. I'm going to do probably about half the box instead of the whole thing. And we're going to let that come back up to a boil. Same token, what we're going to do is, I'm going to trip over my dogs because they're underfoot, is give this a good stir and let it come up to a boil. And I'm going to boil it for about 7 minutes. It says 9 minutes if you're going to bake, 12 minutes if you're not going to bake. I'm going to see how they come out at the 8-minute mark. I'm going to set the timer for 8 minutes. In the meantime, my mozzarella water is not boiled yet, so I'm going to let that boil. And we're going to get cooking. Okay, so now in the large bowl, I'm going to put you guys down. You're not going to see me for a minute. I'm going to step away. I need to grab the ingredients that needs to go in the manicotti and the shell filling. So I'll be right back with that. I'm going to grab my eggs. Some of my Parmesan Romano. And I'm going to grab my ricotta out. Now, it's always a good thing to buy fresh ricotta, and I bought this fresh last week, where it just came in. So it's only been sitting out for about 5 days in the refrigerator, which is fine for ricotta, especially if it's fresh ricotta. And this is definitely fresh. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your entire ricotta in a large bowl. I'm going to put this container off to this. You want to be careful when you stir your shells. You don't want them to crack. Okay, so I'm going to take my ricotta. I'm just going to break it apart a little bit. And what we're going to do is I'm going to start adding my eggs to this. And like I said, you're definitely going to start with 4 eggs. You might need to add as many as 6. It all depends on the ricotta. There's 1. Okay. There's 2. There's 3. And there's the 4th one. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift you guys up for a second. I'm going to dump my ice move. Take okay. Since I got a little bit of the egg on my hands, and of course when I washed my hands, I forgot I had the sieve in the sink, so I'm rinsing that right now so that there's no soap on there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to give this a mix. And I think this will take maybe another 2 eggs. Yeah, I'm going to add 2 more eggs to this. There's 5. And 6. Okay, that's 6. Oop, but I got a little shell in that one. And I'm just going to give our pasta a little bit of a stir. And you, like I said, you want to be gentle with the shells. You don't want them to break. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix the ricotta. I'm going to move my cheese so it doesn't get in the way, so I don't accidentally knock it onto the floor. Okay. And you want to incorporate the eggs with the ricotta. I'm also at this point I'm going to add our parsley to it. And I'm going to add just a little bit of the Parmesan Romano. Now I have a much bigger bag, so I'm going to add probably about maybe a half a cup to this. And we'll reserve and you just want to give it a good mixture, and then you're going to pepper and salt it. I'm just going to add a little bit of salt, and I'm going to put black pepper. I'm going to let you guys see what it should look like. It should look like that. I'm just going to give it a good mix. Now, a good chef will taste the cheese for seasonings. And I'll taste it just a little bit. Could use a little bit more pepper. And maybe just a little bit of salt. And that's your filling. That's what your filling needs to do. Now you can do this a little bit of ahead of time. Just make sure that when you're done making the filling, that you put it back in the refrigerator. Now you might be wondering, Well, where does the mozzarella and the Parmesan come in? That comes in at the end. Once everything's assembled, then you put that on top. Okay, and that is an indicator that our pasta has been cooking for 8 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of the shells out and just see. Yeah, I'm going to let it go for one more minute, and then they should be al dente. And that's what you want your pasta to be, is you want it to be al dente, but you don't want it to be overcooked. So in 1 minute, I'll be back, and we'll rinse the pasta, and I'll show you how to assemble your casserole.